Hi friends, hope you are doing well. I am Dr. Ganguly. Welcome to my channel. So today I am going to discuss some innuendos which are often used in the academic system, and these are essentially sentences or phrases which carry a double meaning. So very often they may be told to you, or more likely they are exchanged within a group of professors or senior faculty, and they are hinting at some weakness somewhere else. So very often these sentences may come from the chairman, the dean, senior professors, even in reference letters. So let's look at these sentences. So number one is, he is good at writing papers. And essentially this sentence, though it comes across as something positive, may have a meaning where aspersions are being cast on the quality of paper. So essentially this may be a person who has written many papers, but there is no coherence as far as the papers are concerned. Maybe the journals are humdrum, maybe a lot of the papers are technical notes, some of them are short communications, and so on. So always be careful of this sentence that you are good at writing papers. Now sentence number two is, he is a scholar. And essentially this may come across very positively to some neophyte researchers, but again the hidden meaning may be that this is somebody who writes books, writes monographs, writes review papers, and essentially does not do a lot of research, and especially may not be good at getting funding. So keep this in mind, that aspersions may be cast here on the possibility of this person building up a large research group, getting funding, and so on. So this may be a more traditional scholar. Maybe he does his own research, writes some papers on his own, goes on sabbatical to foreign locations, and so on. So this could be a sentence you need to be cautious about. Now sentence number three here is, he is popular with students. And here this looks very good to you on the face, but the negative side could be that aspersions are being cast on this person being a soft grader, not good at gatekeeper courses. Remember, gatekeeper courses are those which are used to weed out weak students from a certain department. So maybe some faculty need to be deployed who give out a lot of C's and D's, and this person may be too soft on students, so he is popular with the students. So something you need to keep in mind. Now this is not just to put people down. Sometimes the consequence may be that if a person is relatively soft with students, then he does not bring up students to the level which is required in the next class. So sometimes what happens is that there are some gatekeeper courses, and if you don't do well in them, then the further courses are going to be very hard to understand. So that's something to keep in mind. Now number four here is, he likes to present in conferences. And again the corollary of this is that maybe this person is not somebody who writes in journals or can present or publish his work in journals. So he is just going to conferences, and essentially, as most of you know, it's rather easy to get in an abstract in a conference. Many conferences actually simply accept whatever you propose in the abstract, and the review process is far less rigorous than it is in a typical journal. So again this could be a problem here if you are being cast as somebody who likes to present in conferences. Now the next one is, your work has a lot of depth, or his work has a lot of depth. Now here you may think this is a very good compliment, but it could be that somebody is just publishing papers which have come out of his PhD, and he's extending his PhD problem. So this is something to keep in mind. Depth can often be a word which is being used to point out the fact that you are essentially working on your PhD problem for the rest of your life. So again, stop doing that. Maybe start looking at some other problems also. Finally, number six is that he interacts very well with the department, or you interact very well with the department. And here the negative thing could be that your focus is largely on service, on being nice to people, getting along with people, and so on. So you need to be careful about that. You need to, of course, interact well with the department, but this should never be an issue which comes up, and you should not get compliments on this. The compliments which should come to you should be regarding your research, regarding your teaching. It should not be related to your service. So that's the point number 6 you need to keep in mind. Now the next point is you are good at teaching. And again, on the face of it, this seems like a very good thing to know, but actually what is being told here is that maybe you are neglecting your research and that you are putting too much time on teaching. So what happens is that teaching is something which can suck up all your time. You can spend as much time on teaching preparation as you want to do. So you may spend an enormous amount of time on making slides, on making homework assignments, on making projects, and so on. So be careful of this admonition, especially if you are in a research university. Think about whether you are neglecting research. The next point is you are good at getting grants. And again, here this sounds good to you, but the aspersion could be that maybe you are getting grants in applied research from places which are not very well renowned. Maybe you are getting grants from different companies, and though all this is welcome, try to make sure that there is a link between the grants you are getting and papers you are publishing. So sometimes people get a lot of grants in mundane topics, and these topics are such that they are not able to publish papers in this area. So be careful of that. Now the next one is you like to publish in top journals, and this is essentially a warning or an admonition that maybe you are somebody who has very few papers and these are all in top journals. And what's happening is that when you approach tenure or later in life, you are going to have a very flimsy publication list, and this is going to jeopardize your chances for promotion. So maybe think about it. Maybe your numbers are too low, you need to increase the numbers. And then the final one is that you are a good administrator, or he is a good administrator. And here essentially the message is that this person may not be good in teaching or research to a great extent. Maybe he is no longer getting funding, maybe his papers are no longer getting in journal, and this can be taken as a positive or negative point depending on who you are. If you are somebody who wants to get into administration, this is a good point. However, if you are somebody who doesn't, then maybe you need to devote more time to research, publish more papers, and move on. So these were some points I had for you today about the double meaning of many of the praiseworthy statements which are given to you by university professors. I hope you benefit from this video, and I will see you sometime soon. See you then.